So a sad, sad day for many gamers. The discontinuation of arguably one of gaming's greatest, fantastic innovations in gameplay control. I am, of course, talking about the one, the only, Kinect.
Oh, thank you, Lord Baby Jesus.
Okay.
I did not plan that. I don't
know. Okay, well, even Matt's computer is happy that the Kinect is ding-dong dead. Oh, thank goodness. No, switching... Okay, sarcasm mostly off here. This is a great day in gaming history because this is one more death nail on the coffin for motion controls. I know that I'm not going to miss this era of gaming where, the Wii came out. It introduced waggle controls, which was good for like a couple of games, but then they found a way to shoehorn it in, and then everyone got tired of it. And right when everyone was getting tired of it, that's when PlayStation decided to introduce the Move controller, and Microsoft introduced the Kinect. And even though the Move has arguably a place for the VR, the PlayStation VR platform, we don't know what Sony's going to do with that in the future because they pretty much drop peripherals pretty quickly, especially when they don't sell. So, yeah, if the VR doesn't, if VR is not a success, then the Move will be gone. And there's a little bit of motion sensing control built into the Switch, but it's not anywhere near what it used to be. And I will say the technology behind the Kinect is pretty cool. I'm being serious. Like the whole it would like actually recognize that you were there simply from the body heat that you were outputting. It was pretty accurate as far as getting your movements down. I even played a little bit of Dance Central or Just Dance or whatever it was. I think it was Dance Central that fully utilized the Kinect, the 360 Kinect. And then I don't know of anyone that got an original Xbox One and really utilized the Kinect except maybe voice controls.
I want you to know, I had seriously considered getting a Kinect. The only reason being that I could use it as a webcam. And I would have used that for streaming. That would have been the only application.
Right.
But it was like what, like $60?
I would expect it to be a little bit more.
It may have been, I think it may have been like 100. That might be like brand new 100.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I mean, that's what drove up the cost of the Xbox One originally to $500. So, and everyone kind of saw the writing on the wall with this. The Xbox One S, when that launched last year, it did not have a Kinect port for it. I think you had to get an adapter. And then the same thing with the Xbox One X coming out next week. That's, of course, not going to have any kind of Kinect-ready port for it. So, and now we know officially that Microsoft has stopped producing it, manufacturing it. So, if you want to get your hands on one of gaming's worst pieces of, because come on, I mean the thing is like, well, yes, Dance Central, it worked fine. Star Wars Kinect.
Don't talk about
Dragon Ball Z Kinect.
that. Was a thing.
Sonic Free Riders.
I mean, What did you expect?
No. But they actually had you next to someone else, and you had to like do hand to hand, and it was. If you ever thought that motion controls weren't awkward enough, don't worry, Sega found a way. They found a way.
You know what's kind of sad? This might not be sad to you. I actually really enjoyed the first Sonic Riders.
The first one I thought was nearly unplayable. The second one was actually not a bad racing game. Did you ever play the second one, Air Riders? It's only for PS2 and the Wii. But that actually controlled well. I couldn't play the first one. Like I think I got through it. I beat the storyline and then I was done with it. I'm like, no.
I think my brother bought it, and he is not very good at racing games, so I don't know why he bought it. It may have been just for Jet, because he liked his design, and he got it, and he couldn't get past like the second level, and asked me to play it for him. And then I got to the temple. What was it? Was it or Babylon?
Yeah, Babylon Gardens.
Yeah, I got to that, and I wanted to like rip my face off.
I mean, it had some neat mechanics to it, especially like the way you started. Like you had to back up and then run, and like the starting line was kind of like moving in front of you, and then it hit a certain point, and you had to like run and gain speed, and then you jumped on your board, and then of course you had like you could drift like in an opponent's slipstream, and I mean there were neat ideas in it, but in the first game it just controlled like you barely felt you had any control. But the second game is actually it's fairly decent, believe it or not. They fixed everything that I hated about the first game, but yeah, and then Sonic Free Riders came out, and of course just killed that spin-off of the Sonic series. Maybe rightfully so, I don't know. But I am glad that the Kinect is dead. There was no use for it. It was meant to compete with the Wii. And I guess some of the technology is being brought over for Microsoft's HoloLens or something like that. And you know what? That's great. That's fine. I'm still not convinced that VR and maybe even AR doesn't have much of a future in gaming, but maybe other aspects, maybe other things you can use it for would be better suited for it, like training, like medical training, that kind of thing. So maybe the Kinect will have a home there. Just never again in gaming.